Hey, all right. Here we are today, Season 3, Episode 4, Wisconsin's Classiest Commish Live, coming to you from Studio 2B. All right. We got a big week in the NFL. Last week was crazy. This week sounds like it's going to be crazier. There was a couple of rule changes put in for Wisconsin's Classiest Fantasy Football League. We'll talk about those in a little bit. And I just want everybody, I was really proud of how flexible everybody was last week. It might get a lot tougher this week. We went ahead, I talked, when I first approached ESPN after the draft, contacted them, I says, hey guys, I thought we could do this after the draft. I thought we could add a roster spot, and I thought that we'd be able to add a 2 more injured reserve spaces, which I thought would be very important to the league. And they told me to go kick rocks, essentially. Like, nope, you stupid commish, should have figured that out first in the first place. So now I finally go last week. I said, hey, guys, we need ESPN. Can you actually do this? And they're like, sure, right away, Mr. Commish. And so they've had a change of heart on their end. But they did not give us an extra roster space. They said they cannot do that. That happens to be the same thing they said to us about the injured reserve. And some of you have seen the problem with the injured reserve. If they don't name the player as out, they're treating it like a bye week that the player is out. And you can't put that player on the injured reserve due to the coronavirus. So that's where that one extra roster spot would come in handy. But beggars can't be choosers. This is what they gave us. So let's rock. We got a big show. Going to try to get it out here before that massive matchup for tonight. I hope somebody scores 6 points. So up first, we got the One True Ring Award is back, guys. It is back. Here we go, straight out of Mordor. Y'all better make way, because the One True Ring Award is back. We have talked about it. This is we finally got our graphics back. Cool Cat made an amazing graphic for us today. This One True Ring Award for Week 4 goes to the Cuba City Cobra Kai. They put up 141 points in a week they didn't know they were going to field a team even, and Nick Foles was the quarterback. I think that was just an amazing effort. Thank you, Joe Mixon. Here's an updated look at our One True Ring standings for the year. Those that follow the show knows what this is about. If you're new to the show, so you're going to get a championship ring if you win. If you have the most weeks as the leading scorer, you also get a genuine, authentic replica One True Ring from the Lord of the Rings trilogy. Okay, right straight out of the movies, you get one of these guys. It does even have the Elvish on it. So great work, Cobra Kai. Will there be someone finally get their second win, second One True Ring Award we will find out this week, I guess. All right. The Wii Energy Power Rankings. This is some people's favorite part of the show. I like it too. So we had quite a bit of movement after the first Power Rankings. A couple people on top pooped the bed on that one, and a couple people down below fought real hard. So let's get right to it. We have a new entry into the Power Rankings. At number 6, we got Big Daddy. After struggling for 2 straight weeks, Big Daddy finally got his groove back with a convincing win and was second, or tied for second, shot at the One True Ring. Number 5, Paulie, here to beat Colby. Man, he had the cat by the tail all season, and then, boom, lays an egg. Luckily, he escaped with a tie. I can say this is a weird fact. Not one team who has a tie has ever won Wisconsin's Classiest Fantasy Football League. Something to think about. Will H2BC be the first? I don't know. They really needed to score more than 74 points, so they got very lucky that the 2 low scorers happened to play each other. All right. The number 4, the Cuba City Cobra Kai. There were very legitimate questions if this team could even field a team coming into the weekend. But then they went ahead and rattled off 141 points. That's with Nick Foles at quarterback. They jumped 2 spots to number 4. Number 3. Well, I consider this 2B in this week's rankings. But we have the only B. Had a terrible, terrible showing in her battle of the powerhouses last week. Sometimes some people stumble. It was just, I didn't see them having that type of a bad week, but they sure did. They scored 77 points. They fall 2 spots just for the bad showing, but like I said, I consider this kind of the 2B. Only B in here took a stumble. I don't think their team is bad at all. Number 2, the 2A part of this. They are leading their division. They showed great poise. It's the Toenails. The Ingram Toenails put down one of their main competitors, the Slaughterhouse Hams in the Caviar division, to take sole possession and control of that division. The Hams have quite a ways to come back now because the Hams have a tie on their record. That's going to be a tough one. The Toenails put them down. That was fantastic. I think they scored 131 or 137 points as well. And finally, jumping up 1 spot to number 1. Well, 2 spots. 2 spots. RG3 there yet. This team still has it all. They've had it all season. And they cruised in the Battle of Titans with the only B. That they are now on top, and they are number 1 in this week's We Energy Power Rankings. Okay, so we're going to be doing our league picks coming up next. I had another 3-3 week from last week. So far on the season, I'm 14-10, just a tiny bit better than if you didn't know anything about the league and literally flipped a quarter to pick it. So we're going to try again this week. Maybe we can have a 5-1 or 6-0 week. Up first, I got the Big Daddy versus Dougie Style. The godfather of fantasy sports has an advantage at every position this week, and he will take it pretty easy. Dougie Style over Big Daddy. Kings Game Breakers versus the Slaughterhouse Hams. Is this a must-win game for both teams? The KGB couldn't win on their owner's birthday. The Slaughterhouse Hams couldn't win to take possession of first place. I have the Kings Game Breakers winning this one. They cruise to their second win. The Flying Fallopians versus the Ingram Toenails. We had the Toenails showed up huge last week. They took control of their division, and they took control of the Caviar division. But this week there's going to be a little bit of a hangover, and I have the Fallopians in a squeaker. We have the injury reserve. They renamed Fly Eagles Fly. They put up a consistent 75 points a week versus RG3. There yet. Normally this would be the brothers battle of the week, but these are 2 teams going in entirely different directions. One is going to 2021 and the other is attempting to go to the championship. I got RG3 there yet. Also big. Phil Lip Service versus the only be in here. The Service ran into some more bad luck. I think they have between them and the Game Breakers, they've had the worst luck of the year, but that bad luck was only there to trip them up into a rattled hornet's nest that is the only bee in here. The only bee in here wins big. And now our DeWalt game of the week. Cuba City Cobra Kai versus Paulie here to beat Colby. They've been sweeping legs since 1982 and have been owning this league for 2.25 years straight. A win here would go a long ways to establishing the H2BC and Ryan Pauly as for real. Unfortunately, it isn't going to be this week. Cuba City by 10+. Okay, it's time for everybody's favorite segment.
He's sailed all 7 seas to find the best information for your NFL picks. We will now set sail for the Captain's Corner, where the Captain is waiting to make you a winner. Let's go!
Hey, it's the Captain! Little subdued after last week. Last week was a little bit of a doozy. It was hard to pick these games on a Thursday, and I picked all the way to Monday, and there was a lot going on, okay? I went 2-3 and 0-1 in the drop anchor. If you would have bet with me, you'd have probably lost money. As you can see, it's why I try to stay away from picking Packer games. I get a little emotional on all ends. I did think that the Packers had gotten way too much press, and I thought that the Falcons hadn't quit yet. It turns out that the Falcons, they looked terrible. They did look like they had already quit. So I would write the Falcons off for the rest of the season until Dan Quinn gets fired. Because they are done. Like, they look bad. They look like a team that wasn't trying. Let's try to chart a course for a better weekend. Here we go. Our first matchup, I have Carolina versus Atlanta. Carolina plus 1.5 is my pick here. Atlanta has quit and they are done. I thought last week that they would actually give a little bit of oomph. They don't have any left. There isn't a home crowd in Atlanta. Carolina plus 1.5. That's pretty. I see them running all over them. Here's a surprising one. I got Cincinnati versus Baltimore. I have Cincinnati on the road plus 13 in this one. Cincinnati hasn't lost. I don't think Cincinnati's lost a game by 2 touchdowns yet, and I don't think they're going to start now. So this game. Baltimore's defense has not impressed me much this year, and this week I don't think it's any different. I don't think Cincinnati's going to win, but man, getting 13 points, that's pretty juicy, okay? Especially for a young team that's taking moral victories at the moment. You gotta love that. Minnesota at Seattle. I have Seattle -7. Minnesota's bad. Seattle's good. -7 in Seattle isn't a ridiculous number. I'll give the touchdown and I'll take Seattle. Here's another surprise. I got the LA Rams versus Washington plus 7. I'm taking the football team from Washington plus 7. The Rams, the Washington defense hasn't been terrible, and they seem to negate exactly what the Rams do. Washington is susceptible to mobile quarterbacks. The Rams don't have one. So under new quarterback Kyle Allen, I think Washington, I don't think they win, but they stay within a touchdown. And my drop anchor pick of the week, I got the LA Chargers versus the New Orleans Saints. I got New Orleans -7.5. The Chargers are out of offensive options. New Orleans has a few. LA, they're really comparable to the Detroit Lions, but with a younger quarterback. So I got New Orleans -7.5 in my drop anchor pick of the week. All right, guys. Let's have a couple of announcements. If you're an original owner and you're watching this, original owner of the WCFFL, Wisconsin's Classiest Fantasy Football League, I need some sort of headshot from you. If you've seen episode 1, the prologue of the history of Wisconsin's Classiest Fantasy Football League docu-series, it kind of shows how the headshots will be used. I'm looking to make a mosaic on there, and we're looking to get some of the visuals done ahead of dubbing the audio, and I'd like to play around with them a little bit. I would like it if you would submit what you have. I mean, if you don't submit, I'll pick something from somewhere, but I would like to have those. I've had a lot of fun with that so far, and everyone who watched episode 1, thank you very much. If you haven't watched it, head on over to YouTube, to the Wisconsin's Classiest Commish YouTube channel. You can check out episode 1. We're still, taking baby steps on that. I mean, it's pretty riveting. It should win an Oscar, but it won't. It's one of those years. Also tonight we got Bears and Buccaneers. Here's a bonus pick. Take the under of 44.5. I am not kidding. If this game is more than 13-10, I will, I don't even know, run around the house and just my underwear, because this is too. The Bears defense is good. Tampa Bay's defense is good. The offenses are missing a lot of parts. This one's going to be low scoring. So that's all I have for you tonight. I want to make sure to wish everyone good luck on their fantasy weekends, or just palling around weekends, whatever you're doing. And remember to stay classy.